The anime begins with Feria cheering up as she witnesses the defeat of the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord vanishes into the depths. Then, all the dark clouds disappear and the sky shines with bright sunlight. She thanks the hero for fighting so hard. It was his effort that allowed her to see the day of happiness and freedom. The hero turns around and speaks in a mysterious voice, saying that he has also been waiting for this moment. Feria lifts her face in surprise. However, the hero jumps high above the ground and kicks Feria's face. Rekuro jumps in excitement at the end of this immersive virtual reality game. Unlike the advanced tech games with excellent graphics, these trash games that Rekuro loves to play have ordinary graphics and the worst storyline. Most people hate games like these, but freaks like Rekuro search for such games and collect a pile of them. Rekuro stands by his room's window and feels immense joy at ending that trash game, which makes him feel like a convict finishing a prison sentence. But as a trash game hunter, he is now looking for a new trash game. Rekuro gets out of his room to get ready for school. He begins walking towards the school after telling his mom that her butterfly flew away from the frame. After a long time playing the game, Rekuro feels drowsy and restless. At school, Rei wants to talk to him, but his friends take him away. Summer vacations are around the corner, and everybody in the school plans where to spend their time. Most of them plan to go abroad. A game shop owner named Mana places a few posters on the wall of her shop. She is hopeful that students will buy more games during vacations. Suddenly, Rei enters the shop, and she is there to search for Rekuro. Rei tries to look around silently. Her eyes search for Rekuro, but she does not find him. She absent-mindedly replies that she has just returned from the academy, but Mana knows Rei wants to know if Rekuro has arrived or not. She explains that Rekuro did not come there yet. It startles Rei that Mana knows what's in her heart, and she tries so hard to hide her feelings from her. She denies that she just came to get a new game. But Mana tells her that she does not need to be afraid because she knows about her feelings. Mana explains that Rekuro has not returned after getting an extra special game. Since he has been trying to crack it, Mana shows her the game DVD. It is Phalia Chronicles, and Rei already knows about the game through her sister. Mana explains that this legendary trash game has an enemy that attacks in a weird pattern, and many bugs annoy the player too much. She had heard that many players got frustrated when they tried to kill the first boss but could not. She explains the better part of the game is when the player has to fight the final boss in board shorts and a mask. Suddenly, they hear the door open and turn their heads to see who their customer is. It's Rekuro, who asks Mana to give him a new trash game. At the same time, Mana turns her head towards Rei, but she is already gone. Then Mana asks if he beat Feria. Rekuro excitedly shares that he beat that trash game and the game was garbage. But the lead character irritated him the most throughout the game. She had the worst habit of making every situation worse, getting villagers and party members killed, and blaming it on the final boss. The worst part is she refused to move if you lifted a finger at her. So you would remain locked in the same game point for the next 3 hours, and then you can start your game. As Rekuro thinks more about the trash game, he gets angrier. But then, after all the annoying times with Feria, you get 3 minutes of pure joy between beating the final boss and before the credits start rolling. You can beat the crap out of Feria without fear of retribution, and he is happy that the game gave him a reason to live. Mana listens to Rekuro while Rei watches him from a corner. Rekuro doesn't know what game he should get next. Mana shows her the poster and shares that she will tell him about a non-trash game whose story is juicy and has multi-million views. She insists that Rekuro must sometimes enjoy other games and winks at him. Rekuro finally brings a good-tier non-trash game named Shangri-La Frontier. He comes home and scrolls on the internet to find the highlights of the SLF game. Then he discovers that UES makes it, and the haters get backlash from the game fans if they speak ill of it. After finishing his drink, Rekuro puts on his VR headset to play UES, a spectacular game. As the game begins, Rekuro has to choose his occupation before proceeding, so he selects mercenary. Afterwards, he is asked to adopt a style and appearance. Rekuro excitedly picks a bird's mask to put over his face. Then he enters the name on the computer. Rekuro registers as Sanraku. Before the game begins, they ask him to lie down, and he obeys. Then, he enters the first round of the game. It feels so real that he tries walking and running on the tree trunk. The game is marvelous compared to Phalia. He stands on the edge of a cliff and appreciates the immense landscape of the game. There is a large bridge in the world of SLF. He opens the game map to learn about the paths as a beginner. He listens to the instructions and finds an area saved on the map named Firstia. He wants to jump with immense jumping and landing power. When he lands on the ground properly, he appreciates the game's controls and walks towards Firstia. Rekuro surprisingly stares at his stats, where he has higher luck, so he decides to fight to gain a higher level. Suddenly, a goblin falls from the tree with an axe in his hand and attacks, jumping high over his neck. Rekuro has been given 2 knives in the game, so after deflecting the attack, he aims for the goblin's neck and kills it. His axe dropped to the ground. Rekuro looks at his level, which is now level 2, promoted from level 1. He lifts the hand axe and looks at it. At the same time, he feels as if someone is looking at him from behind the bushes. Its fiery red eyes scare him. At the same time, he whispers that the joy he gets in such new games and exploring the new world is impossible in the real world. It's like the hidden monster reads his mind and attacks him from a distance. A killer bunny tries to attack him, but the attack goes unfruitful as he gets aside quickly and dodges it. Suddenly, the bunny attacks him again, coming from a greater distance, and runs towards him to stab him. But Rekuro stops the attack and kills the bunny with his dual sword counterattack. Afterwards, he sees the status window where he is leveled to level 4. Suddenly, he realizes he was immersed in the game and forgot to notice that this top-tier game was free of annoying bugs. As he is free from any enemy right away, Rekuro begins stretching his body muscles. He realizes that not encountering a crappy bug is very entertaining as you don't face any interruptions in the game. Rekuro loves Bunny's knife and starts walking in the forest to search for it. But suddenly, an ogre jumps on his head and attacks him. However, he is efficient in controlling counterattacks. Moreover, the bunny is an exceptional enemy who would help him scale up his skills. Also, fighting with random enemies has increased his level to 12. Now he is bored of small jungle fights and wants to move to another place for better battles with ferocious enemies. Then, without further delay, he opens the map again to find the next place to stay. The next stop after Firstia is Secondale. He closes the map after setting the location as it would be easier to reach there quickly. But to reach that town, he has to cross a bridge. He did not know that a snake named Ravenous Python was sitting at the beginning of the bridge, stopping and killing anyone trying to cross it. He knows that common snake attack tactics can include coiling and tail swipes, so he reaches the bridge and attacks the snake with his twin swords, while Rekuro is lying on his bed with a VR headset, smiling as he enjoys the game. And that's the end of the first episode of Shangri-La Frontier. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.